for me, anger is a waste of time.
And it's a stupid game, don't you think?
Yeah.
No, people who I own emotionally.
Please explain.
Since childhood, I've been told if I'm happy, it shows on my face. I always think I'm good for only myself. You have to grow exponentially within you. I usually say change the conversation.
Change the conversation, which she just did.
बहुत उम्मीद से मैंने पहला कदम बढ़ाया मैं चलना चाहती थी तुमने उड़ना सिखाया
Namaskar, welcome. My name is Ashish Vidyarthi and
Jeena Mitra Banik.
Jeena Mitra Banik. I mean, this is like, which is an Amitabh Bachchan film where he takes a full three-word name.
Oh, Jeena, oh, Shalu.
Not that. Mera naam hai, something. He takes three.
What was his name?
Deenanath.
Chauhan.
क्या नाम क्या है तुम्हारा?
विजय दीनानाथ जॉन.
I think the film was Agnipath.
Agnipath.
है ना? Just like Agnipath. And her name is Jeena Mitra Banik. So Jeena and I met a few years back in the city called Kolkata. We chat about life. She shows me some amazing things here in Kolkata. I thought that she's an amazing conversationalist and she discovers some interesting things. And I want to have a conversation with you about what?
Just about anything. I think in the process of speaking about you and me, we'll actually be answering a lot of questions and clearing confusion that people usually have.
Even I have some confusions. How to deal with anger?
Frankly speaking, it's not that I do not have anger or I do not have anger issues or I don't get miffed. Since childhood, I've been told if I'm happy, it shows on my face. If I'm angry, even for a fleeting second, even that shows on my face. But that's all right. As time went by and as I began reading a lot of literature, books, meeting people across the globe, and also following people that I like, I would call them ways to navigate life and find yourself through it.
So why do you not want to lose anger? No, you don't lose anger. Sorry, you lose your what?
You lose your sanity in anger.
Or you lose your sanity. So why don't you want to be angry? Why?
I think it's a very wasteful energy. It drives a lot of negativity down your own body. And if your body can't cope with it, how do you think your mind and heart can?
For me, anger is a time that I suddenly take a pause from life and start discussing things that has already happened. And therefore, for me, anger is something which it's more like phlegm. Like phlegm. And that phlegm is essentially about a cold which has happened and it's settled in. It kind of shows the pus. The horrible thing.
I'm asthmatic, so phlegm lives in me.
Thank you. That's two of us.
But apart from that, I would also give it that over the passage of time, with losing very, very close and near and dear ones, and meeting some wonderful people, and I must say one of them is you, and finding my own foothold in this journey of life, I have reasonably arrived at this position where I do not give anybody the joy of making me angry.
I don't want to give you credit. You've done such a lot to leave something on me. Anger, in a way, I lose moments in my life, and I'm angry with someone. I'm angry at something which is happening. I lose my period. Then I refuse to stay in touch with that person for a period of time, and I just lost something which is very, very dear. Now, there are cases, Jeena, where over the years I have chosen to lose some things. What started off as a disagreement has turned into anger, has left me with a feeling of, okay, understood. But other than that, that fleeting anger for me has cost me very important moments. And therefore, for me, anger is a waste of time. And the quicker I get off it, I'm in a better place to do the next thing that I really wish to do.
Anger which hasn't been understood usually leads to vengeance. What's the heart of vengeance, right? And so then your focus in life becomes vengeance.
How do you differentiate between anger and vengeance?
So anger correlates with vengeance. Because when I'm angry, it's like I have to react.
So I have to get back.
I have to get back. Coming to that, I have to retort, and I have to let the other person know I'm better off at being angry and showing you your place.
So it's a game of one-upmanship which is happening.
And it's a stupid game, don't you think?
Yeah. So one-upmanship in any case is a stupid game, in which you're going to prove something. So have there been cases in your life when you've been angry and you didn't even communicate to that person?
So my way of dealing with anger, Ashish, has always been that I shut myself off. Because I cannot be a saint and say that I'm not angry. I do get angry. I do get miffed. There are things which bother me.
And when you get angry, rather than exploding, you'd rather hold it inside you?
Usually, yes. And if I explode, it would only be on people who I own emotionally.
So people who matter.
No, people who I own emotionally.
Please explain.
So people who will know that my anger is going to be succeeded with a lot of love or preceded with a lot of love, but the anger for that moment is just my frustration coming out.
And those are people who matter, right?
Absolutely, there are people.
Not just people who have just met and whom you will probably never
I
meet.
agree with people who I feel who will, who intrinsically will not grow me.
So that's the interesting part about anger. Just imagine, even in your description, you actually say that, I get angry only with people who are really close to me. We say, I don't get angry with just anybody on the road. I get angry with you because you're so clear, so close to me.
No. There's a difference.
Okay.
So I get angry, as I said, with people who I emotionally own. So it could be my husband, can be my brother, can be my nieces, but that's where it stops, my parents. But my form of anger is that if I'm angry, whatever I may say at that moment may not make much sense to me or them, except bring out some very deep sense of dislike at that, of over years, which I blurt out at that moment, which is a not nice thing to do. I've come to realize
That's exactly what I'm saying, that in that point of inflection of anger, when that thing comes out, to those people whom you emotionally own or whom you have a stake in, at that point, there is hurt being caused to those very important people.
No, I usually try and not hurt them or say anything hurtful. But with the nieces, of course, they're children. So for me, it's more like a reprimand thing. You do this, you do that, and you should do this. It's more like guiding them.
Sure.
That's the first thing. I can get angry in friendship, and I may tell you what I feel like if I think that you are that kind of a friend to me. If not, if you then go around, make your own conjecture, or you have your own assumptions in place, and I feel that I am not quite the right person to clear those misconceptions or confusions or whatever may have come to your mind, I will let you be, because I feel that whatever it is, however much of negative thoughts the other person may have, like, a battery runs out, that too will run out someday.
Essentially, for you, as I understand, is anger is a way of communicating something which you have not liked, which you think that other person should know.
Yeah, so I keep quiet and I usually withdraw. And I feel that I should let the other person be the way the person wants to be, wants to say, wants to do, whatever.
Wants to live. Is that anger?
No.
It's not anger. Consider for a moment, I'm talking of not those periods in which you are switching off. That moment in which we are triggered, even for people who we love, we really care for, and actually end out blurting out things. So the point is, my relationship with anger is just that I will get angry with anyone. Mostly what comes out is not worth it.
Mostly, yes.
Yes.
Mostly, yes.
Now I'll come to a very important part of this conversation, that we have agreed that anger leaves us with a bad taste in the mouth.
Always.
Okay, and then things need to be sorted out later.
If you love the other person and the other person loves you, there's no need of sorting out. It is.
So you think, huh?
বাঙালি রাগ করবে না আর বাঙালি মজা করবে না, তাহলে বাঙালি থাকবে না.
Okay, in real world, people do get upset. As much right as you may be.
Oh, I never think I'm right. I always think I'm good for only myself and the world can be just the way they want to be.
And I will still tell them what I think they should not be doing. So at this note, I'll quickly come to just the end part of this conversation, which I think is very important. That anger, that blurt out, how can we stop doing that? Your thoughts, and I'll share something.
I think you need to meditate a lot. You have to grow exponentially within you. And I've seen a huge change in me and a huge change in dealing with anger and disappointment and whatever comes with it. And I've been able to do it, but just being on a meditation mode for the last, I think, 7, 8 years. Your helplessness usually leads you to feel very angry. So it took a huge challenge on my part to actually battle all of that with a very cool head and mind. But I feel if you're angry, you should at least speak to yourself in anger so that when it settles down, you see that it was all about nothing. Because what happens if you bottle it inside? It leads to it being frustrated and you end up getting angry on a situation which you should not be angry about.
So consider for a moment, Jeena, what you just spoke, and probably some things were right there. Anger stems from our disappointment, which leads to a further feeling that I'm so disappointed that I'm helpless, I can do nothing about it. When we feel helpless with our disappointment, that's when we say, I'll give it to them. And I want to leave this conversation at this very point because that is something
Meditate.
where, yes, okay, yeah.
The answer is meditate.
Okay. So the answer that Jeena is talking to us about is that she's found the key to this in meditation.
Meditate, read a lot. Because the more you read, the more you know about literature. Literature exposes you to different mind frames
And who are very
and
different from each
situation.
other.
And every character is a different character in a different book and different situation. So the more you read, you evolve. If you do not evolve, then why do we call ourselves human beings?
Okay, so interesting. She's talked of two things. I have a feeling that they're two entirely different things, meditation and reading books. But there are two options that Jeena is giving us today. You may choose one of them or both. One allows you to see that things are here just in passing. The other thing that she spoke about is reading books. And imagine she's talking of the characters, the different kinds of characters that we come to know in books, and we discover that they have so many different ways of living, each one of those characters. So consider for a moment, dear friend, anger that we spoke about is to do with my inability to deal with my disappointment with what life has thrown at me. How will it be if I can allow it to pass me by and continue to do what I am supposed to?
I usually say change the conversation.
Change the conversation, which she just did. Like, I promise to have a few more. If you like this video, please like it. Please share this with many others and subscribe to the channel. In the meanwhile, as a bye-bye, Jeena Mitra Banik, what do you say?
Keep having conversations and don't forget helping the person next to you and stop being vengeful. It gets you nowhere.
Thank you so very much. Al Shukran Bandhu, Al Shukran Zindagi. By the way, we are sitting at Studio Namek and some interesting handlooms around.
Amazing handlooms. I'm going to take all of the tone because there's no stuff around. So the churi is happening today, the steel.
What about the food?
We're supposed to eat 800 calories. We just gobbled 8,000. We could have gone till 12, but our sizes didn't allow.
No more.